Welcome to today's hockey edition of 360 Sports. Alongside Grace, Owen, and Emily, I'm Adam. Let's jump right into it with some headlines. The NHL preseason kicked off last weekend. Many new faces are in new places. And the number one overall pick, Matthew Schaefer, he picked up an assist in his debut with the Islanders, even though the Islanders lost to the Flyers in a shootout. The question I have for y'all is, how will Schaefer perform in his rookie season?
Honestly, I'm an Islander fan, so I'm always going to be a little biased, but I think he's going to do really well. Like, we saw him have a really good back check against Mccutcheon at one point. Incredible. Like, I was so impressed by his ability to play with all of these, like, bigger guys, because he is a smaller dude, you know. But I'm really excited to see him play.
Yeah, my one question with his rookie year is, comparative to Lane Hudson, who had a great rookie year last year, he won the Calder as a defender, second-round pick. Schaefer, first overall pick, so a lot to compare there. And Hudson, he had 6 goals, 60 assists. I'm looking for Schaefer to have similar statistics to that if he wants to make an impact on an Islanders team who had a little slump last season after back-to-back playoff appearances 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he wasn't that involved in the preseason game. You maybe would like to see more from a number one pick at the start, but it seems like the focus right now is letting him get acclimated to the NHL and letting him focus on that. And then in the regular season, when the games matter, when the games count, let him showcase his talents then. And I think that's their plan, and I think that's the way I'd approach it as well.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. He logged some heavy minutes, had some noticeable plays, 5 shots, I think, strong back checks, and he did have some, turnovers, some penalties, and I think those are going to be the biggest concerns, just those like usual rookie mistakes. And what you said, Adam, about acclimation, that's going to be the biggest thing right here with this, is just getting him acclimated. If he can calm those rookie nerves and really get over that anticipation that he has, I think he's really going to be a strong contributing member of the team. I think he has what it takes. Scouts praise his mobility and instincts, so I have a lot of hope for him this season.
Yeah, I also think the team itself is really open to trying to help him play his best. Like, all they keep doing is talking about Schaefer and how he is such a strong player and such a strong locker room presence too, even in his short amount of time on the team. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of veterans on this team. Bo Horvat, who's a former captain with the Vancouver Canucks, and then Anders Lee, who's the captain now, who won the leadership award a couple years ago. And then you got Noah Dodson, who I think could be a great combo on that defensive end.
He's not on the team anymore. Noah Dobson? He was traded to the Canadiens.
Oh.
I know what you mean. He's yeah.
Do you think the Islanders can make the playoffs this year?
I don't know. I think I want to see how Schaefer plays before I can make that assumption yet, because I do think he's going to be a crucial part of the team. He also has to make the team first, but I hope they do.
It's hard to make preseason assumptions at this point. It's so hard.
Yeah, you never know with this team.
Judging it with other sports, it's harder to keep that in mind with how the NHL does it with number one picks. Like, you have to make the team versus like the NFL or the NBA. It's like you start on the team.
Yeah.
Like, it's just assumed you're going to make it. But anyways, let's move on. Perhaps the biggest headline for me going into the hockey season, because I'm a proud Pittsburgh Penguins fan. Well, I guess not as proud because they're not as good right now. But Marc-Andre Fleury, Penguins' legendary goaltender, is going to return for one final preseason game that is happening this Saturday. Of course, well, all of our Penn State Sooners are at the whiteout, but that's okay. This will mark his first time in a Penguins uniform since 2017, when he departed for the Vegas Golden Knights after the expansion draft. What do we think? Is this a fitting send-off for Fleury?
I think it is, yeah. I think it's a perfect send-off. One game, he's an old goalie, 40 years old, so I don't think a full season probably is too much for him with the tread he's had on his tires, but I think it's worth it, and Penguins fans should have a great night on the weekend.
Yeah, I will say he probably should not play a full season, but after watching Tristan Jarry for as long as I have, I kind of wish Fleury was younger or more willing, but I completely get it. To me, it's just great to see him back on the ice in the black and gold one more time. They're really going to sell out that game, I'm sure. I heard tickets are very expensive. I mean, it's a smart marketing tactic as well. A preseason game, that's a way to get fans in seats to watch the team, to let Fleury play. for the Penguins one last time. And I do think it's a very great send-off. Just let him rock the Penguins gear one last time, and then he can retire. I mean, he's got to be a future Hall of Famer, right?
Oh, yeah.
I certainly think so.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
So
I think getting him in a Pens jersey one last time is definitely emotionally resonant too. I mean, he had some meaningful seasons with Pittsburgh, and I think that getting him in that jersey one last time has a big emotional impact for fans and for himself. Just allows him to kind of end in Pittsburgh on a really good note, and I think that's really powerful. And he did mention he's going to do it out of respect for the Wild, as he expects to play his last game with them. But he's a for sure Hall of Famer, so I could definitely see them doing a little bit more of a ceremonial send-off with him, like jersey retirement. I mean, he's sure Hall of Famer again. But I do think it is definitely very emotionally fitting, and it's good closure for fans too, and just for him as well.
Yeah, no, you covered all of it there. He's a great player. I wish he could play more because I love watching him on the ice. There's nothing cooler than watching Marc-Andre Fleury play in net. But, he has said multiple times, he's ready. He wants to settle down with his family, give his kids a life. So I understand it.
Yeah.
another thing, y'all ever seen the pranks he does with the Penguins players? I'm sure he's going to pull some.
I don't think I've seen that before.
Oh, really?
He
I
does,
think I'm missing
so
out.
funny.
He does a lot with Crosby and Malkin. I'm sure he's going to pull some stuff before the game on
That'll be
Saturday.
interesting.
Yeah, that'll be
Another
fun.
proper send-off. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend looking up some of the stuff he's done over the years. It's so funny
will
to watch.
do. That sounds interesting.
Anyways, one last headline we have. JT Miller, who is now back with the New York Rangers, was named the captain for this season. Many considering that a surprise. This will be his first season with the Rangers in quite a while. Did the team make the right move, naming him the captain?
See, honestly, I'm not 100% convinced that this move was, good. Because last year there were so many issues when he was on the Canucks with him and Pettersson. So I don't really understand the making him captain. I mean, nobody really knows what happened. But there was so many locker room concerns with him, and that's why he was ultimately traded. So I'm confused, honestly.
Yeah, I think the Rangers wanted a bridge between veteran and youth. I don't know if that's JT Miller, 32-year-old, 70 points last season total between his time with the Canucks and Rangers. But I think he was never a captain in Vancouver, and I think that's important because this is his first time being a captain, and being a captain is a lot of responsibility. And returning to New York after a long stint with the Canucks, I think it's definitely a story to watch out for.
Yeah. One thing I look at here, I know as a Penguins fan, Mike Sullivan was the coach of the Penguins for the longest time, and I know he really valued that veteran leadership. Miller being a veteran maybe could be a reason why you named him the captain, but that's really the only thing I'm coming up with, because I know there are a lot of other more important players on the Rangers that may have deserved that captain honor a little bit more.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I have a lot of mixed emotions about this one. Definitely think it was an interesting choice, but he's proven to be a competitor. I think he has the tenacity that it takes to be a leader. But again, one of the biggest concerns, I think, for me and for many other hockey fans is going to be that tenure. And people value a long tenure, and his back and forth history with the team is just going to be a little bit of a rough spot. And I think it is for me, and I think for others. And there's controversy there, over the captain spot for that team. But that back and forth history is really going to stimulate that controversy. Overall, it's going to take somebody that has those leadership skills and is going to be able to embody and encourage the team's identity. Do I think he has what it takes? I'm not really sure, because again, first season being a captain, but we'll see. He definitely plays with the tenacity that I think it takes to be a leader, but lots of controversy there. I'm kind of on the fence about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't Trocheck. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been more consistent as a Ranger for a longer period of time.
Right.
But
Yeah. Well, it's time for my favorite thing at 360 Sports, and that is to go to the board. Our board segment here. With a new season on the horizon, players have a chance to make a bigger impact than previous years. So let's all go to the board and name one player that we think will break out this year. Grace, we're going to start with you.
Okay. I'm really excited for this pick. I've been thinking about it. I took so long to think about it, but I ultimately had to go with Trevor Zegras from the Philadelphia Flyers. So he was on the Sharks for 5 seasons, and this is his first year on a new team. So it's kind of a big change for him, but he has a lot of friends and a lot of people who used to play with him on the Ducks that are now on the Flyers. And I'm really excited to see this because he is a very, very good player. He's very skilled and a lot of his Michigan moves and things like that. So I want to see him really break out and have a good year, and I think he could because he has the capabilities on Philadelphia.
Wasn't Trevor Zegras on an NHL cover a couple years ago?
Think so?
I believe that. I know him
Wouldn't be
from there.
surprised, yeah.
I remember him from the Ducks, but I didn't know much else about him. I do know he's on the Flyers now, and I'm excited to see how he contributes to that team.
He's a good player. He's just really injury prone, so it gets
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
I'm excited to see that best friend duo back at it.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Jimmy Drysdale.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Owen, you want to give yours?
Yep. So my breakout star for this upcoming season has to be my San Jose Sharks goalkeeper, Yaroslav Askarov. He's a Russian goalkeeper. This is going to be his second year on the team. He was in the AHL last year with the Barracuda, and he developed very nicely after being traded from the Predators. He's a former 2020 first-round pick, 11th overall by the Predators, and he's had a lot of development, young, great talent, and I'm excited to see what he does protecting the net for the Sharks. And the Sharks haven't had someone consistently protecting the net at a high level since Martin Jones, and I think that's going to be a great sign, great development in the NHL for him this upcoming season.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm excited to see the future of the Sharks, and I definitely think he will be a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. Go for
I
it.
was just going to say, Owen, you mentioned the name Martin Jones, and that reminds me of that 2016 Stanley Cup final, Sharks and Penguins. I'm sure you don't want to think about that.
I do.
But,
I don't want to think about that. No.
just makes me think of that time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm going to keep it in the Sharks family. So, all right. So, my pick is going to have to be Will Smith. Smith was picked 4th overall in 2023, and he's projected to kind of be the centerpiece of the Sharks franchise for this season, and he signed that contract in the spring. But he had huge college production. He was ranked 2nd in scoring, just behind Celebrini, and he also he plays with such a grit. And again, with being signed to the Sharks now, it's a team that definitely lacks that offensive depth, but that gives him the opportunity to slide into that top line center role early on. And that allows him to start making plays on the ice, start growing and gain visibility. That's what it takes to really get that breakout opportunity. So I think that he could really make some moves this season and get those breakout opportunities through that position on the Sharks.
100%. I feel like he's a very underrated player, but everybody knows who he is.
Right.
But everybody always talks about Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini.
Right.
And I want to see Will Smith be Will Smith on his own.
Exactly, and I
'Cause
think
he
he's
can
totally
be.
capable
Yes,
of doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they have so many young, impactful players, and it feels like they've been in a slump, like at the bottom of the league for the past 5 or so years, and they're finally getting the wheels spinning on this rebuild.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Looks like it's my turn.
Let's see it.
Let's do this. All right. Switching my love here. I'm a baseball fan. I'm a Phillies fan. So we're going with the Phillies side of this. We're going to go with Matvei Michkov, who is 20-year-old, going to be a second-year player for the Flyers this year. Finished 4th in Calder voting last year. A lot of Flyer fans were outraged about that. Thought he could have won the award. Racked up 26 goals, 37 assists in 80 games last year. Good for 63 points. And I expect him to really make an impact this year on this Flyers team. Someone's going to have to step up if the Flyers want to step out of rebuild mode and go into playoff contention and be a threat once again. And I think Michkov, the 20-year-old, could definitely be that guy.
100%.
I like that pick a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's a strong player. I'm excited to see him play. I'm not a Flyer fan myself.
Yeah.
But, he's a good hockey player.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm definitely not a Flyers fan, being a Penguins fan, but I will admit the guy's got a nice future. He's going to be a stud in the NHL, and I am excited to see how he puts it all together going forward. So let's move on to another headline, perhaps the biggest topic in the NHL this season. Connor McDavid is in his last year of his current contract with the Edmonton Oilers, who have gone to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. Did not win either, but you'd also argue McDavid is the best player in the world. Is there any chance he leaves the Oilers and goes somewhere else?
I would really be surprised if he left Edmonton. I think his chemistry with Draisaitl is too entertaining to watch. Their chemistry in the playoffs is just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I guess when you don't get over the hump, like each season, I mean, it does call for conversation about when and where Connor McDavid can thrive, and he's definitely been thriving his entire career in Edmonton with Draisaitl, but things need to change in Edmonton, I think, and McDavid could definitely explore his options on the market if things don't. And I'm looking at things in goal changing. Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard, they just aren't difference makers in front of the net, and they can't keep on going back and forth with them in the playoffs and seeing who's hot and who's not.
Yeah, exactly. I think my thing is that McDavid is arguably the best player of our generation. Like, that is pretty much set in stone. But I don't think he'll ever achieve that status unless he wins a Stanley Cup, because that's what they all work for. That's what they do their entire lives. That's their main goal in life. And I think he's going to wait the season out, because if he does the exact same thing he did last year and the year before and gets to the final and then loses, it's going to crush him, and he's going to be able to explore his options and maybe go to a team that could win him his cup that he really rightfully deserves.
Yeah, just keeping all that in mind, I mean, if you're Connor McDavid, you're 28 years old. If you're really going to test the market and go somewhere else, this might be the time, because you're getting into your 30s. Who knows how it's going to go after that. This is definitely the prime of his career. But that being said, Edmonton, one of the best teams in the NHL, this might be one of the best situations you can be in to win a Stanley Cup. So I don't know if I would leave that situation. And I think, I'm not going to throw this out there too early, but I could definitely see Edmonton finally getting it done this year and getting a Stanley Cup for McDavid. So a lot to keep in mind.
I don't know, guys. I think it's pretty up in the air. Multiple team sources have said that, they're pretty confident that he's going to be signing that extension. And he said multiple times that his priority is winning with the Oilers. But again, the Oilers, back-to-back contenders for the Cup, yet they can't seem to make things happen. And I hear you thinking that it could be their season. It could be. But I think what it's going to come down to is his priority winning with the Oilers, or is it winning? Because, again, I think a player like him, it's important to have a cup under his belt. And so, I don't know. I think it's up in the air. So what's been said by him and the organization does make me think that he will be staying, and I could definitely see him staying. But at the end of the day, if he's wanting to win a Stanley Cup, I can see him kind of questioning and that conversation coming up. But I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like no matter where he goes, he's probably going to be one of, if not the highest paid player in the NHL.
So. Could not agree more.
1,000%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see what he values more, winning with the Oilers or winning. I certainly wouldn't blame him if it's winning.
I wouldn't blame him either way.
He's been with Edmonton for a while, and
you got that loyalty factor that's kind of questionable.
You could argue that he doesn't really owe them anything. So
right,
agreed.
But let's move on to someone that's a lot younger, and that is Gavin McKenna, who is projected to be the #1 pick in next year's NHL draft, and he's starting his freshman year at Penn State, expected to be his one and only year. So why don't we give some teams that we think could be in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes and have a chance at the young superstar?
I feel like we all probably have very similar teams, same teams that have been in the thing. I feel like my biggest, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I see him going to the Penguins or the Flyers, just because it's kind of like a hometown sort of thing with him playing at Penn State for the year. I don't know. I don't want him going there, but I wouldn't be shocked if, not that the league would rig it, but, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, McKenna had this similar hype to McDavid, actually. He's had similar hype, and he's been a phenom in the Canadian League, and I think the Penguins definitely have, I would say, the best chance at getting him. I mean, 2 decades ago, they won the draft rights to Sidney Crosby, and it's kind of a similar player with the impact and hype. So I think that could be a possibility. Also, San Jose, who's been at the bottom for a while now, they could be having another year at the bottom. And having Celebrini, McKenna, Misa, Smith, that's a quad would be lethal.
Yeah, I said the Sharks and Penguins too. I feel like the Penguins would have an outside chance. just because, I mean, I feel like every single year, especially these last few years, they've tried to be good and tried to contend, but they haven't been good. And at the end of the year, they really try and make a run at the playoffs, and it just never works out. So that kind of messes up their odds for a higher draft pick. The Blackhawks are another team I had. They're young, could improve, but they're still very, very young. Same with the Sharks. And the Buffalo Sabres, I feel like, are always just so unlucky.
Yeah.
Always one of the worst teams.
Yeah.
It would be such a Sabres thing if they finish at the bottom of the league, and it would also be such a Sabres thing if they finish at the bottom and get screwed out of the top spot. That would
be surprised
stink.
if that happens.
So
Yeah, I'm going to sound like a broken record with this, but definitely Sharks, Blackhawks, Penguins. Those are my 3 for him. I think for the Sharks, they have a roster timeline that's fitting for adding a winger at that point, and I think that he'll definitely help their rebuild. And for Blackhawks, I think he'll fit in great with their young core. And I've heard some like simulations and hypotheses that they'll have that lottery position, but I can definitely see him in, like you were talking about, just going back to kind of a home team. I could see him at the Flyers or with the Penguins, but definitely a rebuilding team in my opinion. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
all right, well, I got a message from the 360 Sports directors. They want us to give our very early Stanley Cup predictions. So why don't we all say the teams that we think will make it and the team that we think will win?
I don't know. I think at least one team that I have going really far, I want them to win the Stanley Cup, is the Winnipeg Jets. I've been watching them for years, and they are such a fun team to watch play hockey. And they've been screwed over in the playoffs for such a long time. And after last season, when they got the overtime goal that ended up winning the first round of the playoffs, I really, really have high hopes for this team to go further.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a three-peat possibility in the Florida Panthers. I think similar to other sports, we talked about the Chiefs when they were gunning for that three-peat. I think the Panthers are that good, and they're good enough to go for that three-peat. That hasn't been done in quite some time. And on the Western Conference side, I would probably aim for the Colorado Avalanche, who are looking for a bounce-back season in the playoffs. Disappointing last Stanley Cup playoffs, but Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar are good enough to lead that team.
I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers to make it back, but I don't think they're going to three-peat. I think it's going to be like you said with the Kansas City Chiefs. They go to 3 straight Super Bowls, but they lose that third one. I think the Panthers will go to their 3rd straight Stanley Cup final, but lose that third one. And the team I think they'll lose to is the Dallas Stars, a team that's been really fighting all these years. I feel like they lost the last 2 years. I think it was in the conference final both times to the Edmonton Oilers. And they're a team that's just been hanging around ever since they went to the Cup Finals in 2020. And that's been one of the best teams. And I think this could finally be the year that they get back and win it. I like Mikko Rantanen a lot. And I could see the rest of that team finally getting over the edge and getting that Stanley Cup.
I am going to have to echo on, I think Panthers, they have the talent to do that, to make that three-peat, and they have that momentum. I definitely see them in the finals, maybe not taking home the cup, but I definitely see them in the finals. Again, I think the Avalanche is a really good pick for that too, them having that kind of comeback season. Okay, one team I kind of had my eye on in preseason, and again, preseason can only indicate so much, but I can see the Leafs having a good season. And I know that's really controversial, but I don't know, maybe, I don't know what it is, but something about them give me hope. Maybe not making it that far into the finals, but something about them, I just have a little hope for them. I don't know what it is, but I definitely think Panthers have the ability for that three-peat. But
I want to see the Leafs without Mitch Marner play.
Yeah.
Because everybody, like, Leafs fans will always hate on Mitch Marner, or they would, and then when he got traded, they hated on him more, but they wanted him back. I don't know. But he was so good for that team.
Right.
So I want to see them in a regular season play without Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
I think that'll be hard.
I mean, I feel like one of these years just has to be the Maple Leafs year, right? Like,
it's coming one of these days.
It reminds me of the Chicago Cubs and that long drought the Cubs had. Like, one of these years, it's going to be the Maple Leafs year.
Eventually. Maybe.
We'll see.
Any final remarks we want to make before we sign off?
I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting season. I'm excited to see it happen.
It's going to be an entertaining season. These young teams have have great players, great young cores that could step up for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely excited to see these young players.
Lots of good rookie potential. So
I will be rooting for the Penguins, but I will be rooting for them to be in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes. I definitely
fair.
want
That's-
the chance of buying
that's what
a
us
McKenna
Penn Staters
jersey.
have our eye on right now. Is
Yeah.
where's McKenna
Gavin
going?
McKenna.
If I could buy a McKenna Penguins jersey, oh my gosh.
That would be pretty cool.
I'm glad they will. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up on 360 Sports tonight. Grace, Owen, Emily, and Adam signing off. Hope you all enjoy the NHL season, and we'll see you next show.